Right, hello everybody. Oh god, the intro sequence going right. My microphone is unmuted this time. We can do this. Hello everybody. Right, let's. Hey, that's Tommy. Hello, Tommy. Hello everybody. Hello. Oh my god. Hello. We're actually live now. Hello everybody. My name is Matthew Chollerton. Oh my god. Welcome to the TPN podcast. Now, of course, my name is Matthew. I'm something of this channel where we're a joint owner. Let's go with joint owner because we sound democratic that way. But anyway, welcome to the TPN podcast. Today we're going to go over a bunch of topics revolving around the political and social world. We're going to go over how we're thinking the election at the moment is going, how things are going, what we think the main topics of this election are going to be. We're also going to take a dive into a new section called Tommy's Sociology Corner. Now, I should have come up with an intro sequence for this bit, but we haven't done it yet. But Tommy, being the sociologist person he is, he will go over some of these posh terminologies to make himself sound correct, but then confuse you with big words so you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, 2 years of learning sociology and having a grade C A-level sociology makes me the best sociologist in the world, so I can give my views on all the social issues which are occurring in the world. However, first I think we're going to be talking about our main political topic today, so Matthew, back to you.
Oh, hello, welcome. Right, we're going to go to the two-way view now. Oh, you can see both of us all together. So this is Contemplating Debating, so we're probably going to have a debate on some social issues later. Politically, I would say me and Tommy we're sort of on the same side at the moment, so there's not much political debating.
No, not at the moment. In the future, maybe, but
I have to say,
we're pretty...
the second in command at Northwest Norfolk Labour still refuses to come on our show. We're trying. We will get him on by the end. By election day, we will get him on to discuss Labour policies.
Yes, the youth officer and diversity officer of Northwest Norfolk Labour Association.
He is the right-hand man of the PPC for Northwest Norfolk. He is.
And trust me, if you've ever, I wish you guys could be involved in a political discussion with him, because it really does make you feel good about yourself, because you can frankly just tear apart his arguments with ease. It's a great political discussion, and hopefully one day Matthew can persuade this brilliant man to come on and discuss his points with us.
I know, like he still refuses to come on, but I assure you, we will get him on at some point. We can do it. I promise you, we can do it.
Yeah, we will do it. Eventually, we will do it. And ever knows, by the time we do that, he might be first in command and the Labour candidate for Northwest Norfolk.
You never know. It might be possible. You see, that's the direction we're taking the TPN podcast now. It's still gonna, like, we started off. It's very serious. We're very trying to be like the LBC. I think though we're sort of changing our direction. We're like, the podcast is meant to be more of a conversation between us and viewers, and thing. We want it to be more laid back and relaxed when talking about these issues. Yeah. We don't always have to talk like, and tonight on LBC, the Nigel Farage show at 6:00. Right, now today I have spoken to Boris Johnson. We don't want that. We just want relaxed energy. We're normal people talking about big world politics, which.
And obviously, probably the common way to know if we are being like really serious, no jokes whatsoever, or just being laid back is
when I don't smile.
You'll notice I'm not wearing a shirt and tie today, so that's usually means that we're taking it a bit laid back. And I think Matthew's right. I think it's better to have just like a naturally flowing conversation instead of like these really serious, like we can only talk about politics here and now. So just a natural flowing conversation.
So Tommy, what I want to get your views on at the moment, and I'll discuss mine, is how do you think this election's going so far? How do you think it's going for the main candidates? Because, well, there's meant to be an election on, but Boris Johnson, Jeremy Corbyn, they're in full campaign mode. Change UK, I don't even think they know there's an election at the moment. That's how out of touch they really are. Green Party, I'm not actually really heard from them. I'm not gonna be honest. Liberal Democrats, Joe Swenson's been properly in it. She's already upset that she's not been invited to the ITV.
Yeah, she's already threatening to probably
that's
her
really hurt her ego.
pledge. Her biggest campaign pledge is suing ITV for not including her in a debate. So she might get support about that.
Yeah.
But as you just asked me, I think the main candidates, especially, I think that the Jeremy Corbyn hype, which was generated in 2017, really has died down now. Despite him releasing quite a lot of campaign pledges and John McDonnell kind of saying that we're gonna spend borrow loads of money which we don't have, young people generally don't seem very interested this time round, which is quite surprising because Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party, via their social media campaign in the last election, managed to really gain the youth vote. And many people consider that is why they gained seats, because they managed to really engage first-time voters. However, this time I really haven't noticed it. If anything, Boris Johnson has seemed to have stolen Corbyn's ideas in terms of social media wise, and he's running a really well-oiled campaign.
You see, the thing is, I don't know if Boris Johnson's not just... I don't think he's just stolen Jeremy's ideas. He saw that Jeremy Corbyn had such a large social media presence in the last election, and Boris probably is using that to his advantage, because Boris has always been high energy, always getting out there, high energy, and him being able to show that over social media could really help him a lot. Yeah.
Well, I think I remember someone saying about the 2017 campaign, they said the problem with the Conservatives was they were trying to do a cult of personality campaign when their leader, Theresa May, did not have a personality. This time, Boris Johnson really has a personality. It's probably one of his greatest assets.
Yeah.
He won 2 mayor elections against Ken Livingstone, who was pretty much like Jeremy Corbyn, a very hard left Labour candidate. And he won both times. So Boris is probably at his best when he's against someone who goes as left as Corbyn does.
That is true, yeah.
And you can really see so far the difference in their campaign. While Boris Johnson is kind of offering quite a lot of optimism and he's kind of joking about Labour, saying, oh, look at this guy, he's an idiot, Jeremy Corbyn's kind of running a more negative-based campaign. He's trying to be more serious than Boris is at the moment. However, Corbyn doesn't really have the features to run a serious campaign because, in my own words, you can't run a serious campaign when no one takes you seriously. And no one takes Jeremy Corbyn seriously, so he can't really run a serious campaign.
You say about the serious campaign. Have you seen the thing at the moment? The cabinet can't agree on anything. Have you seen in public interviews? Jeremy Corbyn says one thing, changes his mind another. They have interview another shadow cabinet minister. He says one thing. Jeremy Corbyn says, "Oh, but I don't know what Jeremy Corbyn thinks on that." Jeremy Corbyn said this. Emily Thornberry said this thing. They can't. They're all so bloody different. They can't agree on a single thing by the looks of things. And the thing is, they're not just disagreeing at shadow cabinet meetings. It's public interviews where they can't get the story straight. That's the thing. They're always changing their mind. Earlier today, what they said about John McDonnell was going on about the 4-day working week, and now the health shadow secretary said, "Oh, that's not going to happen." But then John McDonnell's now come out and said that's not going to happen, but he proposes the idea of a 32-hour week coming in the next 10 years. So make your mind up. What is it?
Yeah, I think you are very right. I mean, when Jeremy Corbyn says that the cabinet are being they're not united, there's 2 things he says about it. Firstly, the Welsh secretary resigned, which no one could foresee that. He got into some dodgy stuff and he resigned.
Yeah.
Now, if Boris Johnson was weak and the cabinet weren't united, he would have been able to remain in his position. However, he resigned from cabinet because he
shadow
did
cabinet.
wrong. Yeah. Well, yeah, he resigned from the cabinet and because he did wrong.
Yeah.
And in terms of the cabinet not being united, the other reason Jeremy Corbyn keeps mentioning is because of all the floods taking place.
You try and use that to advantage.
yeah. Now these are horrific events. However,
Yeah.
they're not foreseen. Boris Johnson has already he put together an emergency cabinet meeting, which is pretty rare during elections.
Yeah.
And he said, right, we need to get this sorted. You can't stop flooding. You can help people, and the relief can help. However, if there's all these low areas and it rains loads, they're going to fill up like a bowl.
Yeah.
And people will have been aware that these areas are subject to intense flooding when they bought the properties.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something. I mean, where I live in Heacham, not specifically in the area I live, however, down where the beaches are.
Yeah.
Whenever someone buys a house, there are warnings about that these houses have flooded in the past, and there's always the risk that there's a very low chance that they could flood again. It's just something you got to take into account.
Or even 15 minutes down the road from us, the housing estate near the Hardwick is built on a floodplain.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw quite a few farmers on the field, farmers on the TV saying that the government weren't taking these things seriously. However, they are doing the relief. However, all these farmers bought these lands really cheaply because they are built on floodplains. And it's not just a name. They are plains which do flood when there is loads of rain. And they knew that when they bought their land. That's probably why the insurances are pretty low anyway, because they always flood. However, Boris has started to get relief out there now. He is starting to make sure that the emergency services have all the support they need. And to be honest, I think Corbyn is just nitpicking at things like this. I don't see what he would personally do differently if he was in government.
Yeah, it's hard to assess because it's not like something you can foresee this just straight away, and I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to guess because of course it's a natural event. You can't really foresee natural events. But he's putting in the work now to get it sorted.
Yeah. And as we were saying about the campaign starting off, the Brexit Party have started their campaign. However, Farage in many ways shot himself in the foot by saying we're not going to run loads of candidates. And while that benefits the Conservatives, a lot of people will start wondering, well, why do we vote Brexit Party then? Is there much point really? So I think Brexit Party campaign is kind of being a bit sluggish at the moment. No one's really interested in them. I'm surprised the Greens haven't got a campaign going, because with all the Extinction Rebellion stuff going on at the moment, you'd think that they could really rack up, the young people's vote and all of those voters.
Yeah, make sure we keep our one MP. Make sure we keep our one MP.
And the SNP are doing the same, and you can say what it want. They're doing the same racist campaigning that they always do. They are so offensive against English people. If I said half the stuff they do against Scots, I'd be accused of racism. The SNP are the Scottish equivalent of the British National Party. They're only more successful than them. They only care about Scotland's interests. They don't give a damn about anyone else in the United Kingdom. And quite frankly, I don't see why people think that they're a nice, get along easy with party. They're not. I think they are borderline racist towards especially English people.
Yeah, they only care about the interests of Scotland, which isn't, on paper, doesn't sound just like a bad thing, looking after the interests of Scotland. But the thing is, like, how are they so desperate to get away from the UK? It's pretty bad. The SNP, they're just, I don't know, that I think sometimes I'd use the word idiots. I'm not going to lie, because all they care about is Scotland this, Scotland that, Scotland this, Scotland that. But if I said, maybe we should just prioritise funding for England or stuff like that, no, you wouldn't be able to say, England this, England that. No, because if you try and take on English nationalism, it's looked in a completely different view than Scottish nationalism looked like. I get being proud of the country you come from. I totally get that, but we're in a state where You're allowed to be proud to be Scottish. You can be proud to be British, but you can't exactly say you're proud to be English, though. That's the thing we've gotten into.
No, quite frankly, in terms of the SNP, if they only care about Scotland, then why do they take up seats in the British House of Commons? Shouldn't they just sit in the Scottish Parliament? Because if they're for Scotland, fair enough. However, in the British House of Commons, it's about the entire United Kingdom,
Yeah.
not just Scotland. And all they ever go on about is Scotland. They don't refer to anything else. Not even.
Oh no, Tommy, we're losing connect. Losing connection right now. Oh no, this is not good. Please don't tell me his laptop's crashed. Oh no. Right, please hold with us. We've lost Tommy at the moment. Oh no. Right, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to probably rejig. We're gonna have to restart the stream. Well, not restart the stream. Tommy's connection. Oh no. Hang on a minute. Tommy's completely gone dead on us, and that's not the sort of face we want on this sort of stream. Oh no. Right. Tommy says, "Hang on." Okay, we're gonna get sorted. Brief hiatus. Right, so TPN currently on a break. Oh, he's gone. Oh, hello. Oh, hang on. Hey, he's back. He's back.
Sorry, my internet is really bad. That's one thing the government can sort out: the rubbish internet in this part of the country.
What?
I know we're not London.
You're not paying. Well, that's what you get for not paying for fibre.
Very true. I could be paying for fibre right now.
I mean, I don't know what in your village is, but my village, which is literally a 5-minute drive from where Tommy is, has got all the new Wi-Fi infrastructure put into it. We've got 70 megabytes fibre connections now. They OpenReach recently redid all the connections around our part of the world. I don't know in Tommy's village, which is just 5 minutes away.
No, our village is kind of a medieval town at the moment. We're getting there. However, it is something that we need to invest in the future, I'd say.
Yeah.
So anyway, what were we talking about before I went?
So we were talking about Scotland and the SNP views. Let's go back to what do you think the main top? Let's go back to what we originally were going to discuss. What do you think the main topics of this election are going to be? What do you think the main theme around it is? I mean, if we wanted to make a bit of extra money, I'd put a little jar where every time you say the B word, you have to put a pound in the jar. But it's a bit hard.
This is definitely the
B
Brexit
word,
election.
the Brexit election.
I wouldn't say I think people will remember it like that. I wouldn't say it's a single issue election. However, with the Liberal Democrat slogan "Stop Brexit" and Boris Johnson's slogan of "Let's get Brexit done," it really is an election about Brexit, and it's basically a second referendum in many ways. Do you want to remain or do you want to leave?
Yeah.
Now, it's not saying it's going to all be sorted in this one election. You know, we got way more of the Brexit stuff to do. Even when we leave, we got to then set up a load of trade deals with other countries. So we're not exactly out of the woods yet. However, this is kind of pressing the reset button and kind of let's start afresh with a firm mandate from the people for what they want us to do. I personally hope that it's Boris Johnson and the Conservatives. I'm pretty sure Matthew does as well.
And I'm pretty sure it will be. To be honest, can I just talk about you said hoping Boris Johnson leads. We will go back to this. So we will talk about stick to the main themes, but talk about we need to talk about the campaigns just quickly, because if we look at the recent YouGov polls, okay,
YouGov is pretty accurate. YouGov's pretty accurate. It has been the last couple of times.
polls can always be misleading, so we can always take them with a grain of salt, because it's not always, it can't always guess what the millions of voters are going to vote. But in terms of general trends, in terms of what's going up, what's going down, what people are thinking, Conservatives at the moment, with Boris Johnson in charge, have taken the lead. At the moment, Conservatives are on 42%, which is, since Boris came in charge, it's gone up. I think with Theresa May it was around 35. And Corbyn's gone down to 28%. The Tories currently have a 14-point lead over the Liberal Democrats. The Brexit Party's gone down as well to 4% as well. So that's probably where some of the Conservatives have made up some of the marks as well.
Yeah. I think the low point of Conservative support was in the EU elections.
Definitely.
Earlier this year. And since Boris has come in charge, he's now in charge of the party, they've surged. Now, you could say that this is just Boris Johnson's honeymoon period. Every Prime Minister usually has a honeymoon period when they can't really do wrong because everyone just loves them. Theresa May had quite a long honeymoon period for over a year. However, if these polls suggest, it suggests quite a strong Conservative majority within the 70s. We haven't really had a strong majority since Labour's victory in 2005, where they got, I think, a 66-seat majority under Tony Blair. Since then, there hasn't really been a majority like that.
No.
So who knows? This could end years of very slim parliamentary majorities.
To be honest, I'm going to be honest right now. I don't think Boris will win like 99 and 97 majority. I don't see that happening for ages. In fact, I see Boris possibly winning a majority, but I don't think it's going to be like a landslide majority. Well, mind you, they said David Cameron with 330 seats was a landslide, though, didn't they?
I don't know. A majority in 2030, I'd say between that. It could be less.
I think we're going to have a bit of a majority. I reckon Boris could get a majority, just not a massive one. I don't know. I see him potentially doing better than David Cameron. I can see him. I can see him doing better than 2015 David Cameron.
I mean, in what many people consider David Cameron barely got through with a 12-seat majority.
Yeah.
And the exit poll actually at the 2015 election said it would be a hung parliament, so he did better than the exit poll predicted. It all depends. If the exit poll says that Boris Johnson has won a majority, if it's above 15 seats, then he's won. Obviously, it could be very wrong. It could. However, usually by the time the exit poll is released, despite what all the politicians say on the BBC at that night, the exit poll usually, if Boris is shown to kind of be looking like he's going to gain a majority, then that's pretty much it. Everyone can relax and go to bed unless something really does go wrong.
Yes. Relax and go to bed. If only politics was that simple, Tommy. You could win an election and just go to bed.
Yeah, but for the rest of that day, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
He can.
You're in charge.
You're Boris Johnson can say he won the majority. Go and have a pint in Wetherspoons and put his feet up.
Yep, and Jeremy Corbyn can write his letter of resignation. Yes, win-win.
Well. Jeremy Corbyn writing his letter of resignation.
Okay, if he chooses to resign. So anyway, moving on to our next topic, I'm guessing.
We want to talk about, looking back at the polls, we want to talk about why is Labour at the moment leading behind and the Tories pulling ahead so much?
Because Corbyn's fan base has really decreased in recent years.
Yeah.
All of the anti-Semitism stuff which has been going on, I know a lot of people say it won't matter in this election. To a lot of people it does.
Yeah.
All of the anti-Semitism in the party, the increased plans of borrowing. Now, in the last general election, they kept saying free tuition fees and stuff like that. However, they didn't really say how they want to get it, how they were going to make that happen. In this election, they've said that they're going to borrow loads of money, and people are starting to hear the word borrow and thinking, wait, you're borrowing all this money. That means you have to pay it back at some point. How are you going to pay that
Yeah,
money
but
back?
you see, the only way they're going to increase money is they talk about this fantastic Green New Deal and all this stuff without actually giving specifics or saying we're going to spend all this money. But the only thing they could say, oh, okay, they could get a bit more money doing that is by taxing the richest of the lot. All the billionaires are taxing them. Well, you see, the thing is, billionaires at the moment, they get taxed around 40%. Of course, technically, we could argue that yes, they can afford to pay more. But you see, the thing is, though, if you start heavily taxing the billionaires, you're not going to have any more billionaires.
No, they'll just leave and take all their investments.
They will take their investments and set it up elsewhere. Their businesses, if you dramatically increase business rates on businesses and try and make them pay more, even the bigger companies try and, okay, I accept every company should pay their fair share of tax, and companies that go out their way to avoid paying tax should be fined and punished. I agree with that. But raising like the threshold even more to the point where business doesn't want to come back. Just for prime example, look at Donald Trump. Like him or love him, you can't argue the fact of him lowering the business tariffs has persuaded manufacturers to come back to the USA. Now, England's not really a manufacturing country. We don't really do that. But in terms of other progressive fields, other technology fields, science, mainly STEM-based subjects and sectors of what we're heavily invested in, we do need all that business and investment to stay here. And if you go if we're going to go and drive them away, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Oh no,
hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, hello, we're back.
I can hear you.
Anyway.
Sorry, this is what happens in winter. And a lot of people say they really don't like Trump. However, economy doing pretty well over there.
Yeah. If you over regulate business, now, okay, Jeremy Corbyn, you could sort of agree. Yeah, you can see where he's coming from. Yeah, business and billionaires are going to pay more money. You see where they're coming from. But when you look at what happened in America when they left, and they left a massive hole. Now, of course, it's not going to be as dramatic as what happened to like Detroit and all them type of cities in England, but you can sort of see what happens when companies leave.
Yeah, and as many people say, the reason Trump got elected was because he won over what they call the Rust Belt states, all those states which have suffered because investment's gone out of America into loads of foreign nations. And if Corbyn got elected, he would do that. Now the difference is Corbyn is going to claims he's going to nationalise loads of services.
It's not going to happen.
Including the railways, including water, including gas. Now the problem with that is you've got to buy out the private companies which currently own them.
Yeah.
And trust me, they're not going to say, oh, fair enough, we'll just walk off.
Yeah.
You think people who own the water and the gas are going to just walk away without demanding money? No, it doesn't happen like that. They're going to demand trillions for those services, and Labour would pay it to them. And before you know it, you'd be... And the last time that happened in the 70s, and I know a lot of people hate Margaret Thatcher, she had to sell off those services because we were close to bankruptcy. We had to get a loan from IMF, for crying out loud, last time a proper socialist Labour government was in power. It doesn't work. We just run out of money because we're not making money. It's like, let's say you lend someone money and they give you a receipt saying we'll pay you back. And people keep doing that. You keep lending people money and they'll give you a receipt saying we'll pay you back. You can't then walk into a supermarket and hand them take loads of items to the till and then hand them the receipt saying, look, this guy owes me money, he's going to pay me back. They won't accept it.
No.
So in the end, you find you've got no money except all these receipts saying that you're owed money, but there's no money coming in because you spent it.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything back. That is socialism. Especially Jeremy Corbyn's socialism is dangerous, and it would harm this country.
You see, the problem with why Boris is going forward is, I know Labour's tried to say Boris Johnson's cabinet's the far right, and Boris is not the far right. To suggest that is ludicrous. Boris is simply not the far right. If you look at his term as London mayor throughout, he is the most central Conservative candidate we've had for ages. In fact, if anything, some people have criticised Boris Johnson for not being Conservative enough. People have criticised him for being too much of a Liberal in some cases. So to suggest he's a far right, no. In fact, he's gotten flack for being too centre.
He is your typical one nation Conservative. He's been very associated with both economically and liberal policies.
Yeah.
Many ways, Johnson is kind of one of much like David Cameron when he started to take over the party. It was very much moving away from that kind of very right-wing Thatcherite kind of ideology into a more liberal one nation ideology.
Yeah.
And in my personal opinion, while Cameron's tenure was pretty one nation in many things, if you exclude all the austerity measures, which of course they had to put in place.
Yeah.
May's premiership kind of went a bit too liberal. It was a bit too left of the Conservative Party. Boris Johnson.
Tommy, you're frozen again. Hey. Yeah, Boris Johnson is more. He's still centre Conservative, but still, it's the type that's going to win him seats and votes. Right, let's try and get Tommy back on the line. Alright, let's talk about where he is. Then we're going to get moving on to our next segment, which I hope... Yeah, so Tommy's gone again. No. Right, I'm going to redial Tommy quickly. Oh, that's what you want to see, that profile picture. Sorry, Tommy. Well, this is great, isn't it? You can see me. Hello, it's just me. Tommy, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Turn your camera on.
It is on.
It's not. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Right, hello. Oh shit! I should have hidden that in case someone gets your Discord now. But anyway, it's not like we're famous, so no one's gonna dox us anyway.
No, sorry about my internet's really playing up tonight. Some nights will be perfect, some nights it won't be. Obviously tonight it's one of those nights.
Yeah.
As I was saying, yeah, Boris is more. I'd say he's more liberal than David Cameron. Not as liberal as Theresa May. He's kind of quite a good in between. And actually, a lot of people.
You've done it again. Hello, Tommy. You're back. Hello. Hello.
Has it gone?
No, you're back now.
Did it go again?
Yeah, you're back now.
A lot of people blame Cameron's austerity measures. However, Boris has kind of started to put a stop to those austerity measures. Sajid Javid, my mate Saj, as I'm not friends with him. However,
Your mate
I
Saj.
get emails from him. He's actually pumping money back into
Hello, yeah, you're back again.
we just kind of the Conservatives had to put austerity measures in place because Labour spent all the money. So,
Pretty much.
so they had to do something.
Tommy, we have 20 minutes left on the clock for the live stream has to end. We've got 20 minutes before we have to get out of here. So we're going to go over to our next segue from current political issues. We're going to discuss social issues, broader issues that not are just to do with the current political climate or where it is, but just not politics, economics and stuff. So, so this is going to be Tommy's. This is Tommy. This is going to be Tommy's. Oh crap! This is going to be Tommy's. Tommy's going to be leading this. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Tommy's corner. Now you see no expenses spared.
Well, thank you, Gaio. I was no.
Did you see it? Were you monitoring the stream?
No.
Did you see the intro I did for you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it was literally me on Paint, writing Tommy's corner.
Right, I'm gonna have to watch that after the video and then probably kill Matthew because he put that up.
Right. Anyway, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Gaio.
No, it's Gaio.
It's Geo, actually. If you want to get specific.
I thought he was coming out.
So anyway, in Tommy's sociology corner, not just Tommy's corner.
Yeah, I didn't have enough
room. We were going to talk about meritocracy and the idea that if you want to be successful in life, you've got to work for it.
Yeah.
Now, quite frankly, I agree 100% with this. If you want to be successful in life, even if you come from quite a poor background, if you work hard, if you've got a good mindset, then you will be more successful than when you started off with. Examples, for instance, Sir Alan Sugar, Richard Branson. They started out with pretty much nothing. However, they had a strong work ethic. They worked hard and they became successful. And I think that is true. If you just think that everything should get handed on a plate for you, then of course you're probably not going to be very successful. I don't know what Matthew's views on this are.
Yes. As you've known, I have spoken to Tommy privately about these sort of issues a lot. I get a lot of I'm going to be honest now. I do get a lot of flack for the fact I have nice things. Now you see, the thing is, okay, Tommy. Let's be realistic. Tommy probably does have more money than me because he works more. Simple as that. But you see, the difference between me and Tommy is, he is like a hoarder. A virtual hoarder, and every penny he has hits in his bank account. He won't find you. He's incredibly good saver. But yes, everything you do have, I agree, you have to work for it.
I think the difference between you can see two different sides. We both work for our money. However, you save money. I save a lot of my money.
You save all of it.
I really struggle to spend money. And I'm also quite a simple person. I mean, the clothes I wear are not labelled. There's no real brands. I wear simple clothes. I'm very secure in myself and what I wear. And as Matthew likes to say, I kind of have my own style. I think he said that once.
Yeah, your style's just, you see Tommy, it's Tommy. He never changes. Whereas some people go through trends, beards, coats, jackets, hoodies. Tommy likes to say the same.
Yeah, I've never changed. No, Matthew's right. I have never changed. When everyone sees me, they never say, "Wow, you've changed," because 9 times out of 10, I haven't actually changed.
They might have said you might want to. They might say you might want to lay off the pork pies, but
Matthew's probably the opposite of me. I mean, he buys a lot of branded stuff, as you can see. There's quite a lot of shoes. Quite a lot of shoes present. And I remember someone saying, when he said how much a t-shirt was, and I wouldn't pay that price for it. Don't get me wrong. However,
Tommy,
they went. They got annoyed. They were like, "How can you afford that?"
I'm not going to say the price of my jumper then.
No.
No, I'm not. When this thing about flexes, it's like, okay, I like to have nice stuff, but you see, the thing is, I don't come from a privileged background or a high stool of where I've been given like nice stuff, like everything, like all my shoes, everything I have, and I'm thankful for my parents for raising me this way. Is like basically after 16. Okay, before I was 16, my dad would buy me nice little things. He bought me my PlayStation back in the day, even though my PlayStation 3 lasted me from like 2008. But yeah, I got nice little things from them. Not nowhere near as much as I got now. But like since I turned 16, my dad said like if you want like a new pair of clothes or you want or a pair of shoes, if unless it's for your birthday or Christmas, you have to go out and work for it. If you want it, you have to work for it. And this is where we're going to quickly have to rejig the line because Tommy's gone again. Oh boy. Right, we're going to quickly rejig the stream. Oh, there's another beautiful face. Oh crap. I really don't watch that because you just saw brilliant lyrics. Yes, anyway, it's just me at the moment. Tommy's dead. So, yes, hard work does pay off. If I believe, okay, that if you want something, you've got to go out and get it. You can't just sit there and complain about life, say how bad life is and all that, which if that's your mentality, you're not going to go anywhere. Like, you've got to be prepared. Hey, Tommy's back. Hello. Anyway, back to business. We got like 10 minutes. Right, Tommy, you're back. I can hear you. You're nice and clear. And your camera's frozen again. Right. It's loading. Oh god. I can. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back. Right, as we were. Oh fuck's sake, he's frozen again. Oh, you're back. Your mouth is moving, but wait, nothing's coming out your mouth. Talk now. Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
Okay, we're back. So let's get back on topic, shall we?
Yeah, I could hear everything you were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I have seen. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Right. I have seen people kind of say to you, "Oh, you're posh because you have nice things," and it's like, he's not posh. He works for his money.
Yeah.
You know, he worked like 6 days a week sometimes during summer. So you can't say you're not committed.
I mean, like over summer, I did work a lot of hours. Like, and being a uni student, I do get student finance and all that stuff. But I'm gonna be honest, I've not had to touch my student loan at all because I made sure that I would have a safety net. Like before even coming to uni, I was able to pay off like half my accommodation for the year already, without needing a student loan or anything because I made sure I saved money up from just working. And the only time I get given stuff is like from Christmas or my birthday. But even then, the most like my dad would spend on me like at Christmas time or my birthday time would be £100, and that'd be like the maximum they'd spend. Like so, like I believe working hard is a journey. Anybody can technically do it. Opportunities are out there, and it's just got to be. You got to have the right facilities in place to actually access the facilities to help you improve your life, help you get better. For example, if you look at my situation now, if you look back, like even 9 years ago of how we were living, from now to 9 years, like I remember my dad having to get the mortgage. He had to get a cheap house that he couldn't really afford, and he was like for 5 years straight, he was constantly doing it up, until he was able to sell it for more money. Eventually, he got together with his partner. When you got two incomes, it's always much easier to live opposed to when you're on yourself. But my dad was literally on his own, having to fund everything himself, and like because it was all by himself. He had such a high mortgage. Some days he could barely afford to afford his mortgage and also put food on the table as well. Like, we once went through that situation many years ago. Luckily now it's completely different. We're in a much better position. Mortgages aren't a high demand, and yeah, we're much financially in a much better position. Not to say like we're rich or anything. We're still paying mortgages. We're just, I don't know. It's just we're in a much better position than we were. So life isn't just you're given this. It's a journey. You're constantly going up and down. It's not you're given this. I believe everyone can say you've been given something or you're starting off in a position, but you can always elevate yourself. You can always improve yourself.
No, I mean, I agree. I'm a bit different to Matthew. As soon as I got a job, then my mum and dad said, right, except for Christmas and birthdays, you pay for stuff you want to buy.
You pay for everything.
And I got my first job. I've been working, I've been working on and off since I was 14. Yeah, I had my first leaflet round when I was 14, and on and off since then I've been working. And quite frankly, I mean, I went to uni and it didn't work out. And when I came out, I had a student debt. I paid that off. Thankfully, I had enough saved wages to pay that off fully, so I'm not in debt to anyone. I was able to pay for all of my driving lessons myself. My dad put money away my whole life for driving lessons, and I did not have to touch that once because I was able to pay for it. So I've still got that money saved away, just who knows if for the future. However, I mean, I still live with my mum and dad. I pay rent to live here. You know, I'm not in education at the moment, so I pay rent to live here, which, you know, that's fair enough. I shouldn't live here for free when I'm...
Tommy, you're frozen again. You're frozen again. Oh boy. Right, we're gonna have to rejig it, Tommy. You can probably hear me, but you've completely frozen. I'm gonna have to recall you. Right, reloading. I can't hear you at the moment, but we're just gonna rejig it in. So at the moment, Tommy is spinning Discord squares, which this is the internet's not the best. Hey, you're back.
Hello again.
Right, so we've sort of been through our personal situations of how we feel, how we've been. How do you think this links back into society as a whole, though?
Well, I think it sums up in the last podcast what we discussed. I remember you saying that you said you'd fit in more at uni if you didn't have a job and you just paid for everything from someone else.
That is true.
And that's what a lot of people, especially young people our age in society, are doing now.
Yeah.
They think their parents should pay for them, or they'll get student loans and pay for themselves that way. I know several people who do that, and it's not right. If you want nice things in life, then you should work for money, and that's the problem. A lot of people nowadays don't want to work for money. And in terms of meritocracy, if you do not work, then you are not going to succeed. That is the problem we have in this society, and it needs to be sorted. It really does need to be sorted.
Give you one slight counter argument? I agree with what you're saying, and our generation, it's weird because, okay, you're right. Okay, you are. It's already a counterpoint, but okay, there's probably a generational issue where I think younger people sort of feel entitled, think that they should be given stuff, but I see. Our youngest generation at the moment, well, not our youngest generation, like millennials and our generation, right, in the 2020s range, is actually like this generation has had the most self-made millionaires for quite a while. As a sort of slight counterpoint, doesn't mean like everyone's a millionaire, but like in terms of people being self-made millionaires, you see a lot more of them in society. Probably not in our walk, not in our walk of life, not in our walk of life, definitely not. But in terms of general as a whole, but yes, you're right. In terms of normal societal people, there is an expectation where you shouldn't have to. You should be entitled to what you have.
But those people, the self-made millionaires,
They have the
do work
motivation.
hard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
They
what I
do
meant.
work hard. I mean, a lot of the YouTubers, I'm just using this as a prime example, who make millions.
Oh yeah, social media is just taking off in terms of people.
They put loads of effort into their videos. I mean, whether you hate some of these YouTubers or not, the hours and the dedication which goes into these videos.
I mean, like, if you want like an example of like young people making it big, just look at what happened at the weekend. KSI versus Logan Paul, a massive event. KSI, he's like 25, and from just one internet fight, he made like £10 million. Just think about that. And all he did was starting off by making videos on FIFA when he was younger. And look where it gets you.
But there's loads of examples of that. Just people who were just, as kids or just like our age, just doing something that they enjoyed, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. And they were massive. However, they couldn't just stick a lot. There have been a lot of people, their channels blew up and then they died because they just didn't adapt. They didn't have the motivation.
You see, the people who are smart are the people who survive. So your people like KSI who's evolved from making games in the bedroom to boxing, like, and music. Like, you can see the people. YouTube's not like a given platform. You may be given like a bit of popularity there, it may last for a bit, but only the smart people are the ones that are still around today.
Yeah. Well, I know this is a bit self-indulgence, but in terms of YouTube and evolving channels, just look at our channel. Look at TPN.
We've evolved as characters, not as successful entrepreneurs.
No, but it is a good point. If you want to be successful on YouTube, and we're not successful on YouTube, we're probably never gonna be successful on YouTube.
No.
You can't just stay as you are. You have to adapt. I have a YouTube channel, and I never try and do just the same thing over and over again. Once something has run its course, then I won't do it again because it's not exciting anymore. So yeah, I think that kind of ends this topic really. If you work hard,
I think this sums it up.
What you want.
And I think this is where we're going to sum up and conclude today's podcast. Big thanks, Tommy, for helping be TPN, I suppose, because
I really apologise for my internet.
His internet. You need to sort your router out. It's
yeah,
awful.
It's been really bad today. Hopefully we'll see more TPN podcasts. They're actually being quite enjoyable recently. I have to say myself.
We've been changing how we do it. So instead of like being this serious thing with topics set up like a proper news show, we've just been. Well, we have bullet point topics where we're going to go, but it's more natural flowing is where we're taking this.
Yeah, I usually get. I mean, you wouldn't realise, but I got like a text at like 1 in the afternoon saying, "Hey, we're doing a podcast," and I was like,
"Yeah,
why
not?
Like,
as things go on, we've been lucky at the moment to be able to do it now. Of course, I'm going to be busier later in the year. I had an exam today. I got an exam tomorrow, but I'm still fitting it in. Coursework's ramping up soon for me as well. Being a uni student, you see.
Yes, and of course, being a hard-working local man.
Tommy down 9.
There's of course shifts will be picking up.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who I work for.
It's going to get busier.
However, you can know that I work seasonal work, so in December it will be picking up, so I will not be as available as I am now.
And I've got terrible news for you, Tommy. Election night, I have an exam in the morning.
Oh dear. Oh well, I'm gonna.
So no staying up till 5 o'clock. I will give you the reins for live commentary of TPN though, so you can do your coverage if you wanted.
Now, probably I'm gonna sit up and watch, because trust me, the problem with doing a live podcast when the results are announced is if the results don't go my way, I really can't say that I'm not gonna start going, oh my. And plus, if they go the right way, then there might be like a
gin and tonics on me.
Yeah, there might be a massive kind of scream of like joy and excitement.
He's done it.
No, but I would recommend watching BBC election, or ITV if you want to watch ITV instead.
Yeah,
I guess they're quite interesting. I've never watched one all the way through because I'm only human, and I can't
don't
stay
put
up
the
till.
blame on me.
I mean, what, they start at 10 at night and finish like 12 the next day.
Yeah.
So that, unless I go to sleep all day and stay up.
Stock up on the coffee is all you need.
Yeah, take a lot of coffee. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stop talking before my internet cuts out again.
And I should probably go to bed because I have an exam tomorrow at 5 though.
5 in the morning.
No, evening.
Oh, thank God for that.
5 in the morning. You really think university students or even staff would get up at that time?
For students, probably not. Staff, maybe.
Trying to get a uni student up at 5 for an exam at 5. It's not happening. Because most of them are first year, they get student loans and think, oh, free money, let's spend it all. Shit. And by the time you're a month in, you're poor because you spent it all.
Oh well, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you want to subscribe, follow us on Twitter, but send us a message in the comments. You can probably even contact us on. You can probably even contact us on Discord because I think I accidentally leaked Tommy's Discord name. Yeah,
contact us on Twitter. My personal account on Twitter is never used, so contact me on that.
Right. With that said,
subscribe to Geo Music Visual. Some great content on there.
With that said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.